Hey, so it's definitely been a while since I've posted here. Been doing a lot of projects without turning on the GoPro. I put it in its case and put the case in my office and then forgot where I put it, which was exactly where it should go. So, doing great. But I've made a lot of progress on the garage the past month or so. I've added an entire Ryobi link system here. So I've got all of my tools hung up, my lawnmower, weed whacker, leaf blower, everything. I've got all my hand tools right in here. Keep my carpenter pencils and stuff there. Random assortment of blades and things I use often. Nice little towel rack there. Very, very, very handy. Got my battery rack up here so I can keep my batteries charged. I'm going to be cleaning off a lot of this bench still. Definitely going to be replacing the stereo. I have no idea what the Lazy Susan's doing there. And once I finish my current project, that will probably be the next thing that will get refinished as well. The other tool chest. Still working on this side of the garage. I got new shelving put up here. So I'm trying to decide how I want it. I might also add a little table where the miter saw is at, just so that I have the place to kind of use my 3D printers. I can set them up there and then run them. But yeah, there is, you know, the garage. This corner is just full of stuff I need to take care of. A little vanity mirror that we're still working on. We're missing a piece somewhere for it. Extra boxes and things. It's a never-ending battle. This is my new workbench I built. Got my dust collection system set up on the bottom. Got a nice little foot pedal system set up so that I can just press the foot pedal, turn on the vacuum. Makes it real easy to use. And then I got my table saw built right into my table, so I can use it as a flat surface, or when I want, I can just pull the whole thing out on wheels and run where I need to. So today's project is part 2 of the 1980s Craftsman Toolbox that we've been working on. I got the first half of it done, and I've been using the hell out of it. But I still need a lot more room, as my current little small one that's up on the workbench over there is just not enough room. This one has quite a few more storage spaces than my current one, but it really needs a lot of work still. So I've got everything disassembled in here. I just need to take everything back out, but tonight I'm going to sit here with the angle grinder and take all the rust out of this and try to get this looking as good as the other side. So let's get to it. Alright, so I've made quite a bit of progress here today. Got all but 2.5 of the drawers done. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for tonight. My hands are vibrating so much I can't feel them right now. They're just like numb, so probably a good time to stop. Also, my angle grinder, the brushes here are starting to get a little bit hot and not quite working, so I need to give it some time to cool down. Besides, Vegas is probably about to lose to the Avalanche tonight, so I have to go watch that. So, but you'll never score the game because I'll be posting this after the game. Anyways, see you next time. Well, so we're back at it again today. We're gonna finish sanding down and grinding down all the rust and everything off of these trays, and hopefully get everything done on here and get this ready for paint today. Also, I mean, it's only been 2 seconds for you guys, but it's been 2 days for me, and I jinxed Vegas winning, so you know, now they clinched the playoff spot. So we'll see how that goes. So all right, let's get into it. Alright, so taking a quick break. Starting to think my grinding wire brush here is reaching the end of its life. I keep trying to bend it in and get it to go a little better, but I think I just need to get a new one. So I might be making a quick run to the store. I have a few other wire wheels, but they're not the brush kind like that. So let me see what I have lying around here in the garage. Maybe I can find something else. If not, I'm going to be making a quick stop to the hardware store, which no project is complete without having to stop and go to the hardware store right in the middle of it. So, all right, I'll be back. All right, so I found another wire brush that I had laying in the garage. So this isn't going to be as heavy duty as this one, but I'm almost finished with this. So I think it'll at least help me get this one finished. And then I can run to the store and get the big one to tackle the toolbox itself. So let's get into it. All right, so that sucked. I guess this one's more for like polishing. I think I removed more bristles off of this than rust off of here. So I guess I'm going to head to the store because I am not going to be using that on this entire thing. That is going to be a major pain. So, and I'm not talking about the movie. So anyways, I'm going to take another quick break, run to the store, grab the things I need, and then we'll get back to it. See you in a few. All right, so back from Harbor Freight. But they were out of stock, so I had to stop at Lowe's and got a fancy new DeWalt cup wire brush. If you can see, this is in much better condition than that one. But it was also 5 times the price. I think I paid $6 for this at Harbor Freight, and because Harbor Freight was out and I wanted to get this project done today, I spent $25 on this. So hopefully it makes the work go by easier and I don't have any problems. So, but with DeWalt, I don't expect to have any problems, honestly. Honestly, I have more problems with Harbor Freight. So, all right, let's get this last one, do a few final touches that I missed on the last one, and then start on the tool chest. Let's get to it. All right, so that probably wasn't my best idea. I'm gonna go ahead and take this down on the floor, sit down on a little stool I have here, and try to do this vertically because I think that's gonna work much better than me trying to stand up high. I feel like going vertically on top of it and pushing down works better than going sideways, because if it's sideways, it has a tendency to want to fly off. So, all right, let's adjust the camera and get to it. so I've got most of the dust knocked off the, or sorry, rust, not dust. There's still a lot of dust on here. Off the tool chest. I'm gonna wipe everything down with acetone, try to get a little bit more of that excess paint off. Hand sand a few little areas and try and get it all cleaned up and hopefully get it ready to paint. At least want to try and prime it tonight, and if I have time I'll go ahead and do the final coat of paint. So let's hope I keep making good progress. All right, let's get to it. Alright, so did a little additional sanding on here. Not really worried too much about the inside of this. I'm probably just going to prime it and maybe give it a quick coat of black. But I'm not really going to see the inside of this. The thing I'm going to see the most is the front. So I made sure to really shine this down, get that curve nice and smooth. There is going to be some pitting here just because of, all the rust that was on here. So. But I'm going to take a quick break, get some water, clean up, and then we're going to go ahead and move these to the front yard and get them primed and ready for painting. All right, see you in a second. All right, so got everything cleaned off, blown off, wiped down. We're going to go ahead and start primering it and then get all the boxes painted black and the chest painted red. But first, got to prime it gray. So let's get to it. All right, so ran out of gray primer about halfway through, so had to grab a bottle of black primer. But the Florida sun is so hot right now that the primer is almost drying instantly, so went ahead and put a coat of the black enamel on there. So we're just gonna wait for that to dry. I need to flip the toolbox to paint the bottom still, and then I need to flip all of these to paint the underside still. So gonna wait like 15-20 minutes, come back out, and then finish it up. Oh, I just now realized that the time lapse I just did to try to finish painting, I never hit start. I turned the camera on but never hit play. So when I came to talk to you guys, it just now started recording. So anyways, I didn't do much. Just went ahead and finished the last layer of paint on the shelves. I don't really care too much about the drawers. I just want to make sure that they're covered. Really, the only part I'm ever going to see of them is the front. So as long as the front looks good, and then there's a good solid coat to stop rust from the rest, really don't care if there's any runs or lines or anything. Painted the bottom of the tool chest now. So once all this is dry, I can go ahead and start reassembling it. And we'll see how the new tool chest looks. All right, so we're gonna give this about an hour to dry and we'll come back out to it. All right, so we've got the toolbox and all the drawers painted. Next step is gonna be trying to get the anodization off of the aluminum handles. You don't actually want to use sandpaper or brushes on this because it'll actually scratch the aluminum because it's so soft. But a lot of this stuff just comes off with a little bit of Dawn soap and water and a little bit of elbow grease. So I'm gonna get a one of the little green sponges, start washing these down, and get these ready to slide back on. And the only other thing is I've had the drawer slides sitting in evaporust all night. So They had a little corrosion on them, not too much actually, but letting them sit in the evaporust overnight should take most of that off. And then I'll just hand clean those, and then once that's done, we'll put the slides back in, put the handles on, and get everything put back together. And then it'll be ready to start throwing tools in. Well, after I cut out the inserts. So, all right, let's get to it. Some of you may be wondering why I dipped aluminum in the evaporust. Aluminum doesn't rust. Basically what happened with these is that this tool chest had been sitting outside in the Florida humidity for years, and rust was actually starting to get on here based on the contact of the drawer. So the drawer that was sitting on this was rusting, and the rust had adhered itself to the surface of the aluminum. This is probably one of the pieces that got a little bit more pitted, but they all came out pretty good. You can actually see, like right here, that was all covered in rust. And so, but the evaporust just ate that all up. So, all right, I'm gonna dump out the evaporust, put it back. The nice thing about evaporust is you can reuse it. So as soon as you're done soaking stuff in it, you put it right back in the jug and you can use it again until it gets too dirty that it doesn't work. But I've used it a few times already, and even when I was pulling the drawer slides out of there, you could see the corrosion and stuff just kind of floating on the surface of the metal. And that's why you take it out and then rinse it off with water just to try and get all that excess residue off. So I'm gonna dump that out, get a thing of clean water and some soap, and we're going to use the 5-gallon bucket that we were just using to clean. We're gonna use that to scrub down the handles, and then hopefully we will start reassembling this. So stay tuned. So I've got my bucket set up with a bunch of Dawn soap in there. I've got all of my aluminum rods here. When cleaning aluminum, it's important to make sure not to scratch it. Aluminum is actually quite a soft metal, so you want to use stuff like nylon brushes or stainless steel brushes that are specifically for cleaning aluminum. Some steel can still scratch, but we're going to be using that, a scrubby sponge, and some dish soap. So try and get these things, they don't look too bad. There's just a little bit of oxidation on there. So we're just gonna try and get that off, make them look just a little bit more shiny. So let's get to it. Alright, so got all of the drawer handles redone, and they are much cleaner looking. Still a little bit of anodization on them, but these things are what, 45 years old now? Because this is from the 1980s. So, wait, no. That math. Yeah, wow. That makes me feel old. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and put these on, and then I think I'm actually gonna have to run to the store again. I'm actually going to grease these and just put a tiny bit of grease on each one just to help those drawers slide in and out, and that'll definitely help me in the long run, as I feel like the I didn't grease the other toolbox right over here. And I mean, those are much heavier, so I might end up taking those out, putting a little bit of grease on there as well. So let's get this all together, and guess we'll get to see the final completion. All right, got all the padding on the for the drawers. Found this over at Lowe's for, I think it was like $25 a roll. Just a nice little foam padding that goes to the bottom. Comes in a nice big roll. Ended up having to buy 2 of them to get the total everything done on both drawers, but 1 roll covered everything in this and plenty extra. So if you are looking for something to just give yourself, you know, a nice little thing, make sure the tools don't bang around a bunch when you're opening and closing drawers. Just makes things better. So but yeah, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on all of the slides. I'm gonna go to the store, get some grease first. Throw a little bit of grease here to help these just go in and out smoother. And then after that, we'll be all done and ready for the grand reveal. All right, be right back. All right, so as with any trip to the hardware store, is not complete without another trip. So went to Lowe's, they were out of stock. Went to Harbor Freight, they only had the grease gun version. Went to and braved the halls of Walmart and got my white lithium grease. So we're gonna take this, we're going to slide up just a little bit dabbed on the outside edge, really only where it's going to be making contact. Since these are the older Craftsman ones, how they work is that there's these little tabs here, and you pull these tabs out slightly, and there's also tabs on the inside there, and that's how they slide in and out. But I should be able to just grease the rails right here on each side, and that should be enough for them to slide in and out smoothly. So I'm gonna put some gloves on and slather some grease all over. All right, so forgot to put the non-slip liner on the top part, but it looks like we are all finished now. So I just need to get this set up and put on top of the other one, and then once I'm finished with that, start loading with tools. So let's take a close-up view of everything and see how it all turned out. All right, so the tool chest is completely done, top and bottom. I've got everything organized and put away and labeled now. So let's take a look. So this is the whole thing, top to bottom. I've got all of my things individually labeled, at least for the things that have labels. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to put up here. Things I'm going to use more likely, you know, zip ties, measuring tape, keep all those up there. But, you know, writing utensils, blades, measuring tools, got putty knives, screwdrivers, wrenches. I also took the magnetic wrench holders and put those on the side, and then I've also got my magnetic glove box holder, so that, you know, holds my box of gloves, And then I've got your standard sides over here, metric on that side. Bunch of pliers, wire cutters, wire strippers, scissors, vice grips, tin snips, everything in between. Got calipers, we've got drill bits, we've got... Okay, this should probably go into a different thing now. Well, I guess I've got my ohm meter there, so that kind of works. That drawer's a little still there. Got all of my extra drives and hammers, mallets, and sledgehammer. I still have my Craftsman set here. It's a complete set, so I'm just going to leave all of my sockets and stuff organized in that rather than try to move them into one of these. But these are all my extras. Got another drill bit set, more drill bits, a Dremel, plastic, welder, pocket holes, and then regular hole, and then a bunch of random drill bits, masonry bits, etc. So anything with the angle grinder or router is going to be in here, and wire brushes, all those accessories. And then lastly, this is kind of a junk drawer, but gloves, electrical, and then some of my square clamps, because the square clamps don't really clamp the rest of the way like all the others do. But overall, still very happy with how it turned out. The red paint is still curing a little bit on this still, so you can see a little bit of where the paint is not fully smoothed yet, but I feel like in a few days that'll clear itself out. But yeah, really happy and really excited with how this turned out. Now I've got another tool chest over here. This one was the one that I had up on my workbench here. It was left when I purchased the house. Set this down and bring this up. I just sprayed this down with a hose. This one's in pretty rough shape as well. I thought it was in better shape, but once I got down to it and took everything out, it is in pretty rough shape. The drawers pull nicely, but if you look at them, the slides on my new one are much better. It's dented in a few spots, but yeah, it's pretty rusted, probably about as bad as the other one. I need to sit here and clean this out for a bit, but I haven't decided if I'm gonna clean this and restore this one, or if I'm going to just go ahead and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. So let me know what you think I should do with this one, if I should try and restore it just like the others and have an extra one, or should I give it away to one of my subscribers. I don't know, if I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will restore this and give it away to someone. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Anyways, this is Tom, the Bearded Board Guy, and we're done with this project. It only took me 3 months, but stay tuned for the next thing, whatever project I decide to dream up and do. So, catch you later.